morning, everyone. Today, I, Pranada Mittal, am here with Dr. Prateek Mittal, a neurologist at the Super Speciality Hospital. Today, we are here to acknowledge National Doctors' Day and, of course, talk about the current pandemic due to the COVID 19. Before we begin the interview, I would like to bring to your notice that Doctors' Day in India is celebrated on the 1st of July every year on the birth and death anniversary of the great physician Dr. Bindan Roy Chaudhary. Chandan. He was one of the most famous and legendary doctors. So, Dr. Pradeep, they say that just listening to the problems of a patient helps him in curing in some way or the other. What's your take on this?
Yes, that's true. Just listening to a patient can help us cure the patient. They say that if you keep listening to a patient, in the end, they'll tell you their diagnosis. Professor Hutchinson used to say that if you keep listening to a patient, in the end, they'll tell you their diagnosis. There was a lady who used to come to me with abdominal pains. She used to have severe abdominal pains off and on. There was no cause found. Ultrasound abdomen was fine. Her blood counts were okay. And I talked to her, and in the end of her conversation, she said, "Oh, my husband, he is a big problem to me." So she told me the diagnosis. Actually, it was stress related. So to understand that, I had to listen to her. Down the line, she told me a diagnosis. So yes, there are many other points to this thing. This is not the only thing. But yes, listening to a patient in every way, it helps you to cure the patient and to take the things forward. So you must listen to the patient.
That is a point well said, doctor. And we know that doctors have a healing touch. So, what best do you do in your place to comfort and treat a patient who comes to you in distress?
Well, as I've said, first thing is listen to them. There is a thing called catharsis. The moment you tell your troubles to somebody, you lessen your stress. This thing is called catharsis. So this is the first thing. It not only helps us to make a diagnosis, it helps us to cure the patient, relieve their stresses. And the second thing is, for a doctor, it is his patient, nobody else. For a doctor, if his patient is fine, if he gets cured, he is happy. Usko kuch nahi chahiye. He doesn't need anything else. So, coming to that, one has to focus exactly on how to diagnose, what the problem is, where it is, how to diagnose, how to confirm the diagnosis, and how to treat, how best to treat.
So, why do you think is the COVID-19 more virulent than other viral infections?
COVID-19 is more virulent than many other organisms. So it is not the most virulent, but it is more virulent. The reason is that it's a survival gimmick. It survives in any environment, heat, cold, rain, in the fridge. It can survive everywhere. One thing. Second thing, it's a multifactorial thing. Till date, nobody has an exact idea of what this virus is doing to the body. Whether it is attacking the immune system, or is it attacking the vascular system, is it destroying the cells, is it doing something else? So, as a result, we do not have a definite bullet against it. We really don't know. Some people say give steroids, some people say give anticoagulation, some people say give blood thinners, oxygen, everything. Every 1 month, the treatment paradigm changes. So it's very clear that the virus has its own ways to attack, and they're multifactorial. And we still would not understand that. The third thing is that this virus, it attacks the essential organs. It attacks the lungs, the heart, the brain, the kidneys. I mean, it does not attack the skin. So, it's touching on the vital organs. And many times, all four of them. So, that's why it's so virulent. And above all, it's very infective. It can spread in seconds. You just have to talk to a person and you can give it to him. There is a virus which comes on with the bite of a mosquito, with the bite of an animal, but this thing, it's in the air. It's in the air. So it's virulent it is self-protective. It protects itself. It's very virulent. We do not know the mechanism of action. It attacks the viral. It attacks the vital organs, and it spreads within seconds. So it has to be virulent. It has to be strong.
So, do you think that every infected person needs hospitalization?
Every infected person needs hospitalization. Had you asked me this question 2 weeks back, I would have told you yes. Every infected patient needs hospitalization. But right now we are well aware that 80%, 90% of the cases are, they're nothing. They will either have a sore throat, little bit of fever, some cough, some headache, some general weakness, nothing at all. So they can be at home. They may not take any medication also. Only that they should see that they don't spread it to others. So now, as of now, in today's date, by the knowledge we have, every infected patient does not need hospital admission. They should sit at home, and yes, they should take care that they do not spread it to others. Those who need hospitalization are those people who have got breathlessness, who have got cardiac problems, who have got chest problems. Yes, they should get hospitalized.
So, we know that it's very contagious and catchy. So, how do you manage your health while treating the general public?
The most important thing I feel is that I am a doctor, and being a doctor, it gives a false sense of security. We have been brought up with this thought, with this feeling that nothing will happen to you. No infection get to you. So it's inherent in me. I believe nothing will happen to me. Okay, I'll go to the hospital. I see my patients as usual. So this is one thing. This gives me confidence. And yes, of course, I do take a lot of precautions. I'm a neurologist. I have to go to the OPDs. I don't have to operate people. I have to go to the OPDs, and I have to go to the hospital, to the IPDs, ICUs. So I have been given equipment through my hospital that includes masks, gloves, face shields, head caps. So yes, I do take a lot of precautions. What I'm doing is I go to the hospital daily, and I don't come back in between for lunch. I go at 9 o'clock. In between, I don't take lunch, no drinks, no tea, no coffee. Just come back at 5 o'clock. I go with my mask on, my gloves, my headgear, and my face shield. Stay there. I change my gloves many times in a day, and while coming back, I leave all this paraphernalia of gloves and all to the hospital. I dispose it off. Come back home. First thing, I take off all my clothes. Everything is washed, even my spectacles. Everything is washed. I get a good washing of myself, and after that only I get my food, and after that I don't go to hospital. If I have to go to the hospital, I have to go through this whole process again. So this is how I'm protecting myself. I'm doing the best for myself also.
We really appreciate that. It was very informative, and at last I would just like to conclude myself by saying that doctors are next to God on this earth. The massive count of patients saved by the clutches of deadly COVID-19 by the doctors bears a testimony to the heart. In crazy times like this, when the entire world is in the grip of a pandemic and is strictly advised to stay at home, it's you, the Corona warriors, who march into the hospital every single day, putting your own lives in danger, day in and day out. It's you, the healthcare warriors, who have stood tall and strong in the front line to save the infected patients, and still continue to do so, selflessly and relentlessly. Filled with utmost concern, commitment, and compassion for your people, you are the real heroes of the world. Today is Doctor's Day, your day, and there couldn't have been a more better time and occasion to honor and celebrate this selfless service. On your special day, we MMITians, students and staff take this opportunity to offer our heartfelt thanks to you. We can't thank you enough for what you do. May God bless you with good health and mental strength. May God bestow upon you Happy Doctor's Day to
Thank you.
everyone.